And now we move on to Mr. Maninder Kohli, founder of Juniper Outdoor, has decades of experience leading expeditions, adventure travel programs, and outdoor initiatives across the Himalaya and beyond. Widely recognized for his contributions to Indian mountaineering and adventure tourism, he has worked extensively in expedition planning, high altitude operations, outdoor leadership, and risk management systems. Today, he will speak on risk management and safety protocols for land based adventure activities with Indian case studies. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Maninder Kohli.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to share that I've been kind of looking at case studies for a while, nearly a decade now. I felt that it was an area we had to all, as the industry move towards. So one of the things I did was I wanted to see what are the best practices internationally, and I zeroed in on the US and Canada, where they have the annual Wilderness Risk Management Conference. It's been going on for several decades now. There is a huge participation for this across the industry. People pay up to $750 to attend this 3-day event. And that's how seriously they look at it. They look at all near misses. They look at all the accidents which have taken place. Approximately 16 people die every year in North America. And each case gets reviewed, very, very closely. Taking things forward, just pre-COVID time, I was able to organize 3 meets at the IMF. We set up a small team, looked at various incidents, and started to announce events one after the other for 3 years. There was a lot of participation. About 70, 80 people turned up from all over India, and they were very keen to know how can we all improve safety standards. So there is an enthusiasm, but unfortunately, after COVID, somehow things slipped, and that didn't sort of continue. But today, what I wanted to do was I wanted to share 5 incidents which I personally or the team looked at, and I wanted to share with you the details. So first one is about this boy called Bharat Ashok. He was on a climb to climb Bhagirathi 2. This incident happened in 2019. The Ashok Abbey is with us, Brigadier Abbey. When he goes to Gangotri area, Gangotri is at 3,000 meters. The team spends normally 3 nights at Gangotri trying to gain acclimatization. But when I investigated this particular incident, the trip leader who was actually appointed, he was not part of the team, he was just a mountaineer who was made a trip leader. He said, I was told to keep the schedule very tight because they're all working from Bangalore and they needed to kind of come back fast. So these are errors which came in. When they reached the Nandanman, Ashok started getting first signs of altitude sickness, and the team recognized that, and they started to finally bring him back down. And at Bhojwasa, he died. This is his image here. When we looked further into this particular case, this team did not have an oximeter, they did not have a stretcher, they did not have an oxygen cylinder. An oxygen cylinder cost about 10,000 rupees. An oximeter cost about 200 rupees. And a stretcher cost about 2,000 rupees. Not a huge cost. I don't know whether till now do we mandate this for each expedition. Like this was approved by the IMF. What is the process we are following? So we keep talking about a lot of things, but very simple things are kind of overlooked. Now, if a mountaineer has altitude sickness, he was made to walk across down the Gangotri glacier. So you cannot subject a person with altitude sickness to walk. He has to be put on oxygen and on a cylinder because his body is already under stress. If you're going to make him climb even down, you're asking for problems, and this is such a sad case that which was a very, very preventable type of death. Okay, move on to the next case study, and there have been a few cases of animal-related incidents, and I wanted to bring it out. The first one was in 2021. I was personally heading to Tarsar Lake in Kashmir, and we were near Tarsar Lake, and a rock fell and hit my arm. And I was suddenly surprised, and I looked up, and there was a huge contingent of sheep grazing at quite a height, and there was a kind of a, you could say, steep downhill. So I asked my guide, Tausif, who's always with me in Kashmir, I've done many treks there. I said, why didn't you tell me about this? That, that there is grazing and there could be a rock fall. He said, sir, it didn't strike me. So it was a clear example that simple things like a briefing, which we do, but the briefing has to be possibly engineered with a certain checklist that where are small issues which could happen. Now, there was a report in 2022 at Fuktal Gompa in Zanskar where a big stone apparently hit a lady. This is an unguided kind of a situation. People are going to the monastery, it broke her leg, and she had to be then airlifted by a helicopter. So rock falls engineered happen quite a bit. Then another case came up of this boy called Rahul Ramesh. He was a kind of a trail runner in the Manali region. He went alone for a trek, and a bear apparently charged him. This is a bit unaccounted for because he was alone at that time, and he fell down about 400 feet into a gorge and died. So these are some incidents which happen because of animal issues. I want to go next to another case of Hamta Pass. So in Hamta Pass, Akhil Chadda wanted to exit the trek. These are, I guess, low-cost treks happening. There is not much guiding support. There are not many people around. And when he said, I like to exit, he was told that, it's a simple trail, walk down. But unfortunately, on the way down, he must have slipped, and 3 days later, his body was found. In the mountains, we are always told, it's an unwritten rule that never go alone. There has to be one companion with you. Even if you have had a fall, somebody is around you, they will support you, assist you, So the question which comes around in this is that if a person is charging 5,000 rupees for a trek, does that make them immune to look at the safety part? It's ridiculous, but it's coming down to that. If you send a person down and he dies, who takes responsibility for such an event? Okay. I'll like to now talk about another case which happened in the Beas River, and there was this trekker. Again, this information, I don't have the date and the exact nature of the event, but it's a true event which I have researched and we've got out. So this particular winter time, this particular girl, while trekking, falls into the Beas and now starts flowing down. And there's an immediate effort to rescue her. She goes and gets stuck under a snow bridge. Now, because she's under the snow bridge, nobody could reach her. So about 40 minutes passed. Finally, a kayak was assembled, went down, got her out. Now she's, at this point in time, got full-on hypothermia, serious level of hypothermia. Now, it's if anybody's done wilderness medicine courses, it's very well known that a hypothermia patient cannot be moved. You have to just keep them warmed and let their body gain some strength, because if you move a hypothermia patient, you'll trigger cardiac arrest. This is a known fact in medical science. None of the people around, I guess, were aware of this, nor were the medics who came in an ambulance. They put her in the ambulance. On the way to the hospital, she died. Again, a question of a death which could have been kind of managed better, prevented. Now I want to talk about a very interesting case which happened 3 years back on Pangar Chula. So this is a photograph of a kind of a very tough guy called Sanjay Negi. He lives in Chennai. He and Kailash Mehra went on a winter ascent of Pangarchula, just ahead of Oli and that area. There were two of them alone. They were not guided, um, and they were strong guys. They said we can just do it. So around 2:30 or so, Sanjay Negi said, "I can do it." Kailash Khera said, "I'll wait for you. I can't continue. I'm tired." So in that process, they got separated, and around 4 o'clock, they were able to talk to each other. They were not able to see each other. There was a whiteout, but there was a situation where they got separated. So Kailash Khera came down to Khulara, which is the base camp area, and where he got phone connectivity. And he called up one of his friends in Chennai that this incident has happened. He's stuck on the mountain. I've been able to come down. Uh, his Chennai friend called me up and said, "Can you help this guy?" So I started making calls immediately. And I soon learned that there's a gentleman called Vivek, um, who is Vivek Kumar Panwar, who is a local guide who has set up a, a rescue unit. And he is willing to, if there's any incident, he goes himself. So I was able to get through to him at around 9:15, and I told him that this particular Sanjay Negi is stuck up there. So I called up the SDRF, no response. But this guy, Vivek Kumar Panwar, within 15 minutes of my call, he, with two other guys, left to rescue this guy. So he reached Khulara at around 1 in the night. He's based in Joshimath. And at around 5 o'clock, they reached near the summit area of Pangarchula, and they found this Sanjay Negi huddled under some stones in a very bad shape, completely, let's say, entry-level frostbite situation, uh, not hypothermia fully. He had survived the night, but he was in a tough situation. And they had all the equipment with them, hot drinks, everything. They sort of revived him, and they kind of brought him down. And uh, I was so happy to hear about this particular incident, how Vivek had managed to get him down. I called up Brigadier Abbey. I said, just call him up and congratulate him. This is something really great which this gentleman has done. And Ashok did that. The families send in a very good, generous deposit. We send it to his account. And it was a good end. And I said, Vivek, what support do you need from the community? And he said, I just need a bag of equipment. And what I felt from this particular incident was that at the end of the day, we have got these guides in all these areas. If we can somehow put together some gear, put them together as a small support group, they can go and make rescues like this. This is a very good example of something great. So coming to the end of my presentation, I feel it's time now that we have an annual risk management meet. It can be a collective support of the IMF, ATOI. We should mandatory in all trip leader trainings have a very long session on some of these case studies so that these whatever near misses, actual incidents which have happened are used. I feel that we should, anybody who attends some of these meetings, they should get a badge, something like this, which shows the fact that there are a company which is having a responsibility towards risk management, and you should all illustrate that badge saying that you participate in conferences of this nature. And also we should set up these quick reaction teams like what Vivek showed in Joshimath. I think if they spring up in all the commercial centers, they will be able to play a big role, in just keeping everybody safe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maninder. We really had a wonderful time listening to you and we've taken in account your recommendations as well, and we will definitely work towards it.